Hello community, I hope you are doing good and welcome to episode 5 deposit management system application we are creating here, and this is the last session for this feature, and I hope you already covered episode 1 to 4. Like basically what we covered here is like we created a few menus like parent child menus. Then after we created a tree view, form view, windows action. We also covered like one view to another view. You can also jump using a button click event. Then after we also implemented status bar, and based on the status, user can hide some fields or like let's say the buttons. Then after once the transaction done, then automatically the form view read only for all the users. Plus we also created a custom module, custom methods. Then after also we override existing ORM methods. We also implement SQL constraint here. Then after we also implemented auto sequence generator. Then after we also implemented security groups, staff and the manager. And we also defined record rules for both users as a staff or as a manager. We already covered many things here. We also created a new email template, and in this discussion we will cover like how to send automatic mail from the Odoo, and we will also create a QWeb report, I mean the PDF report to generate transaction slip. Plus we will also configure outgoing email, so whenever the transaction done for the specific customers, and it will automatically send one email to the respective configured email. So and then after, yeah, and the final thing is we will test the whole workflow here again one more time. So if you don't know anything related how to develop custom application in Odoo, please check all the episodes. I'm sure you will like this episode, and please check till end of this discussion. And yeah, in case you missed all the episodes, you can go to here in this WebLearns channel, and especially here in the playlist you will get that playlist also. And if you have any doubt related Odoo and you need any support, you can go to about page. You can send your query to this email address. And yeah, like if you want to support this channel, you can support using these two websites. Also you can support using this join button. So let's back to our main topic, like how we can configure outgoing email here. So first thing is like we have to go to in settings. Here in the technical menu we are going to an outgoing mail server, and here we will try to create a new email server. So for this description field, like we have to give any name like bank notification outgoing email server. And here we have to always provide smtp.gmail.com, because right now I'm using my own Gmail account here. So for that, like I'm using this SSL TLS, and you can see here the SMTP port also changed here like 465. We don't need to touch anything, and simply here like we have to provide Gmail ID here and the password. All right. So first thing is like here we will add like inquiryweblearns@gmail.com. Here I have to provide here the password. So let's say I'm trying to click to this test connection, and if you see such message, it means it's properly set up. And now onwards you can automatically send your emails or notifications from the Odoo itself. And let's say I'm going to in deposit management system, and let's say right now what I will do is like once the transaction done from draft to the done, like it will automatically send one email. If you remember last discussion, we already created this email template, right? So this email template we have to use to send one notification to the respective customer. All right. So for that one, like we have to let's say going to transaction part. Let's say for this transaction done stat here, let's say I have to use here, I have to write down one simple code to send email to the respective customer. So here like self.env and after .ref, and after we have to paste here the email template ID, and this module name we have to provide here. All right, and then after simply we have to call this method like send underscore mail, and here like we have to pass out the object ID like record set ID, which is this one like self.id, and simply like we will use here like force underscore send equal to, right now like let's say the false at this moment, by default it's a true. Let's say for the for this user inquiry @gmail.com. so we have to provide here this email. Why? If you see here in our code, we provided here this one, the partner ID, not here. So here we provided here the partner 2, so it will use that email address. All right, so here simply I will upgrade the I don't need to upgrade the module, only restart the service. All right, let me minimize this one. Like let's say client, like let's say 5,000, and it's a deposit. All right, and now you can see here I already open here this my account, and we will get that notification here. So once I will click to this one, it's going to done state, and now we are going to here and click one more time. If it's not received yet, then what we need to do is like we have to go to here in settings, in technical, in emails. So here you can see this email automatically showing here like all the details, and if you click here send now, you can see here the one mail automatically received, right, like transaction notification, and this is the name of the customer, and here like you just did a deposit amount 5,000 with us. Thank you for your transaction. In case you have any query, please contact home branch. Best regards, and this one. So whatever we do, whatever we configured in the email template, it's automatically sent to the respective customer, especially here this one, partner 2. All right, so I hope you understood like how you can send email through Odoo using backend side, especially like this way. All right, and if you don't add this one, it's also fine. So once the transaction done, it will automatically send to the respective customer. So why I used here, because of this one, like I want to give you some overview here, like how you can also check emails whether it's created or not. Here you can see. All right, so let's back to our main topic like here, and let's say like we created like all the transactions here. All right, so here like we have to also create a small PDF file, I mean the report, like let's say like who did the transaction and how much amount and all the details, right? So we have to simply create a one small receipt which having only few informations like customer name, bank name, thereafter whatever the remarks, balance, and the transaction status. All right, so for that one, like you can see, we already created here this report directory, right? So here we have to again create a new XML file like wb bank transaction report.xml. All right, so here like we have to create a report. So for that, like we have to use not a record tag, but here we have to use template. All right, and simply we have to provide a unique ID like WB bank transaction receipt report, like that. You can also add anything, and here we have to also call some default another templates like web.html underscore container. Oh, sorry. And here like we have to call so like let's say if you select a multiple transaction, it will generate a multiple record. So for that, like we have to create a for loop like t dash for each docs, and by default we will get all the instances as docs. So we have to use as a doc as an instance. All right, and here like we have to call header and footer part. So let's say I'm just trying to call like web dot external layout, and here like we have to provide one class and which is called a page, and here like we have to write down anything, so it will generate a small report, PDF report. If you do this one, then you already successfully created a small PDF file. So we have to add here some content, right? So for that, like we have to create like simply like I just try to add header part like it's showing the bank and the bank name, and then after we will add the transaction details. So for that one, like let's say the bank name we have to provide span.esc, and here we have to provide the bank name, and plus one more thing is like we also have to provide like a bank code name. So let's say if you want to print fields, so you have to use like this, or else you can also use other way like t-esc span.esc or whatever. All right, so this is h2, and we created this one. Let me add here the br part, and oh, not here because I'm outside of this part. So here I have to provide class row, and here like we have to create a new content like view part, h4 like transaction detail. All right, and let me add a br, so it's going to in a new tab. And then after, let me again call the another class, the same class row, and here we will add one table with full screen size. If you know Bootstrap, it's good for you, otherwise you have to copy paste like table class table like border So had, and here let me add here the style display table row group and th class text center. So all we have to copy this one, and here like we have to provide did one mistake like span and tdesk esc, and here like doc.name because this is the customer name. And here we have to provide body tr td class text center transaction td span and here like transaction creation date we can add, so like create underscore that. So we have to copy paste remarks here, and again like copy paste and the amount. So balance, right? And yes, that's it. And let's say we will also create some warning message. So let's say the information message like this is PDF generated report, so no need signature, like that. So for that like we have to use div and here class row it has last div class call 12 in at6. This is computer generated slip, so no not required. Alright, so we created a new PDF template. So now like what we have to do, like we have to club, like we have to also create a new record which is action report. So for that like we have to use the record ID and then after model. For here IR actions report, and here we have to provide a unique ID, so report bank transaction slip, something like that. Name, let me copy this like this, and after name bank transaction report, and here like we have to provide model. So here like WB bank transactions, and here like we have to provide a report type, and it is like QWeb PDF. So there is a two type is available, one is HTML and the QWeb PDF, so we have to choose PDF. All right, and here the main thing is like a report underscore name, this one. So here we have to provide this ID with this module name. All right, and here like we have to provide also the file name, like report underscore name and report underscore file, both are the same one. Then after, like, we have to provide here the binding model ID. So it could be like, let's say we will display in the list view, right, or the form view. So we have to provide in which model we have to display this report. So obviously, like, it's a wb underscore transaction, right? So like here wb, oh sorry, model wb bank transactions, and let me close here this one, and let me add the binding type, and it is a report. That's it. So using like this template, we have to register here in this model, and then after, it's good to go to generate a PDF file. Alright, so first thing is, we need to always remember, whenever you create any XML file, we must have to register under this data file, otherwise it won't be work. So like, oh sorry, not report. Then after, let's say simply I will copy this one and paste here. Let's say I am just trying to upgrade the module. Oh, so we have error. Let me stop this one first. Opening and ending tag mismatch, span line 12, h2 line. Oh, okay, so we did some mistake. Let me verify that one first. Oh sorry, so you can see here it's giving me this error. Let's see. Alright, so successfully upgrade the module, and let me refresh the page here. Before refresh the page, you can see this action button is available, right? Once refresh done, you can see here one more action, also one more button is also visible, which is the report. Yeah, so you can see bank transaction report, and once I will click here, we having this error. Oh, might be there is a chance, like, I have to replace this one, and then one more time I have to upgrade this module. Alright, and trying to refresh one more time. So you can see this one, it's automatically generated this report, and you can see like banks, the bank is State Bank of India and the bank code. Then after transaction detail, like customer is oh, we did one more mistake. Okay, that's fine. You can see the transaction detail, then after remarks, then after amount, and everything is available. So we did one mistake, is this one here in the report. Let me go to here, trying to refresh the page, and I will generate this report one more time. Okay, one more time, like we did one more mistake, like, oh yes, so such mistakes also happen, so you have to also carefully write down the code. Otherwise what happened, you will spend a lot of time here, and then after you comes to know, oh okay, so we forgot to use the forgot to add this keyword after the T. Let's say one more time, I'm trying to refresh the page and trying to print the report. I guess it's showing what. Okay, so it looks good, right? So this is our PDF report. So I guess we completed successfully one feature, which is deposit management system, like how the banking system is working. And this is very small feature here, like it is only 0.01% feature of the banking system, how the transaction is doing with the bank system. You can also develop such features in Odoo side. So for that, like we are using now onwards staff and the manager. You can see here right now I'm using administrator. So simply I'm going to here, you can see this is a staff, and let's say like any customer comes to bank, and let's say they will choose here the specific customer here, like let's say the WebLearns, and let's say withdrawal or the deposit. Let's say they want to deposit withdraw the amount like 400, and let's say self withdrawal, and let's say I will try to transaction done from the staff side, like staff already hand over 400 amount to this customer, and they can also print here the report. Let me refresh the page so they can print. So you can see this is a transaction receipt, and also like this customer, if they don't have anything here, then it's already stuck in email, in list of the emails here. You can see here, but it's not going to send out because in the partner side they don't have any email address. So for that, and you can see here as an admin can see both company, but let's say as a staff member can only see the configured company. You can see State Bank of India. Why? Because you can see here in the settings, here in the users and the staff, you can see we configured this bank. If you configured another bank, like let's say Bank of Baroda, then what happened is like it will automatically display only the Bank of Baroda, not a State Bank of India. Plus they can also see only the State Bank of India transaction, not the other banks. So this record rules we already created like this way. Plus you can see the total final balance available in the bank, and if you want to double check, you can go to here in the bank, and you can see here the final balance, the available balance with bank here. And if you want to check the customer balance, they can go to here in the bank detail. They can see the total balance is 7,500 with this bank. And if you want to see all the transaction history, they can click to here, and they will redirect to transaction preview here. So you can see here they can see only this customer's transaction history. So this is the actual amount, and this is the balance amount here. Like let's say they withdraw, so it means the minus amount it's showing, and if they deposit, it means the amount is in positive value. All right, So like this way this feature is working. And let's say if you are still, if you don't know anything related how to also create a form view, list view, actions, right, like how to create this module like this, what is the float field, what is the character selection field, like many to one field, how it's working, the float field is also how it's working, the selection field, plus like let's say how to override the ORM method, like this one, this is default ORM method, we already override actually. So, or like let's say the SQL constraint, don't worry, like everything is covered here in this channel. You can go to here, simple playlist, and you can see here this is the main playlist. But if you want to learn more about specific, you want to learn specific topic, like available fields, here you can see like available ORM method supported by Odoo. Like here you can see model level attributes. Then after, if you remember, we created sequence or email template, so those are as a record, and we created record in in XML side. So you can also create such records in CSV side also and XML side also. What is the benefit from both the files? You can see here in the data files what is the special commands. Then after, how to create a form view, tree view, search view, list view, Kanban view, search view, everything is covered here. Then after, there is a small examples you can see here, like everything covered here in this Odoo development. So only the few thing is not covered yet, which is the email template, the sequence, and the access rights, which we covered here. And I hope so, like after like few months, like all the topics cover, and it's already available here in this different playlist. Like if you see this discussion, like let's say after 6 months, then might be there is a chance like everything is covered here, and you can see all the topics here. So best luck, and I hope you enjoyed these episodes, and let us know like what you feel about this feature and this episodes. So give us some feedback, so we will also improve from our end, as well as we will try to add new features like this one. So stay tuned with us. If you didn't subscribe this channel, please subscribe. You can also join using this join button, and see you in next session.